Welcome to Tech Toolbox, Construction and Digital Innovation. I'm Mike Donovan.
And I'm Alyssa Chen. Before we dive into today's episode, we should mention that while we might sound like real construction and tech experts, we're actually fictional hosts created for this podcast. But the information we're sharing is very real and valuable.
That's right. We may be fictional, but these scheduling nightmares we're going to talk about today, those are all too real for folks in the construction industry.
Last week, we talked about those amazing concrete sensors that are revolutionizing curing time monitoring. The feedback has been fantastic. Thanks for all your comments.
Today, we're tackling something I've personally lived through many times in my project management days: scheduling chaos in equipment rentals, and how the right software can prevent these costly nightmares.
Mike, I know you have some battle scars from equipment scheduling disasters. Care to share one with our listeners?
Oh boy, where do I start? There was this one time we had a foundation pour scheduled. 20 yards of concrete, full crew on site, forms all set, and the excavator that was supposed to be there for some last-minute grading just never showed up.
What happened?
The rental company had it down in their system as going to another job site. By the time we sorted it out, we'd lost 3 days on the schedule and had to pay overtime to catch up. Cost us about 15 grand, all because of a paper logbook and a misheard phone call.
That's exactly the kind of nightmare scenario we're exploring today. Imagine this. It's Monday morning. You've just confirmed an excavator booking with a client. Tuesday comes around and that same client calls in a panic because the excavator never arrived and they've got 20 workers standing around with nothing to do.
And then you check your system, if you can even call it that, and realize that excavator is already out on another job. Classic double booking scenario. Now you're scrambling to find a replacement, negotiating new delivery times, and trying to calm down a rightfully upset client.
All while watching that client relationship and their trust in you circle the drain.
Exactly. And in construction, these aren't just minor inconveniences. When equipment doesn't show up, entire project timelines get thrown off. You've got workers standing around getting paid to do nothing. You've got downstream delays affecting other trades. And you've got penalties for missing deadlines.
And what's fascinating is how interconnected everything is in construction. The article we're discussing today points out that during peak seasons, like spring and fall in Texas, contractors often move the same piece of equipment between multiple sites to keep projects on schedule.
That's right. So if a scheduling error means that excavator doesn't make it to Site A on time, it's not just Site A that's affected. Now Sites B and C are gonna be delayed too. It's a domino effect.
And this has become even more critical since the construction boom we saw in 2024 and 2025, with companies trying to make up for lost time after the pandemic slowdowns.
Let's break down the real costs of these scheduling errors, because I don't think people realize just how expensive a simple mistake can be.
The article mentions several categories of costs. First, there's lost revenue from double bookings, when you promise the same piece of equipment to 2 different customers.
And in construction, margins are already razor thin. Let's say you've got a $5,000 per week excavator that gets double booked. Customer A cancels, so you lose 2 grand in revenue right there. Then you have to rent a replacement from your competitor at a premium. Let's say $500 extra.
Meanwhile, customer A has a crew standing around doing nothing, costing them $4,500 in labor. That's $7,000 of impact from one scheduling error. If that happens just once a quarter, you're looking at $28,000 annually.
Then there's the cost of idle equipment, which is something a lot of rental companies overlook. Equipment that's sitting in your yard isn't free. It's actively losing you money.
Right. You've got depreciation happening whether that machine is working or not. You're paying insurance, storage costs, and financing charges on equipment that's not generating revenue.
I saw this all the time in the field. A skid steer sitting idle for just 10 extra days a month at $300 a day rental rate. That's $3,000 in lost revenue monthly, or $36,000 annually from just one machine.
And then there's the increased labor costs and logistical errors. The article gives an example where a loader is sent to the wrong site. The wasted delivery run costs $300 in fuel and wear and tear. The driver racks up 4 hours of overtime. At $40 an hour, that's another $160.
Meanwhile, the customer has 10 workers standing around at $30 an hour each for half a day. That's $1,500 in idle labor. Then you offer a $200 discount to smooth things over. All told, that's over $2,000 down the drain from one mistake.
And finally, there's the cost that's hardest to quantify, but potentially the most devastating: customer churn. A Harvard Business School study found that acquiring a new customer costs 5 to 25 times more than retaining an existing one.
And in construction, word travels fast. If you're known as the rental company that can't keep their schedule straight, you're gonna lose business faster than a concrete pour on a hot day. Now, let's get to the good stuff. How do we fix it?
The article outlines 5 key ways that equipment rental software can help manage this scheduling chaos. Let's start with tracking asset utilization and costs.
This is crucial. Every piece of equipment in your fleet needs to be tracked for its utilization. How often is it being rented? How much revenue is it generating? Is it sitting idle too much?
And this data isn't just interesting, it's actionable. If you see that certain types of equipment are constantly booked out, that might signal an opportunity to expand that category in your fleet.
On the flip side, if you've got machines that are barely moving, it might be time to sell them off and reinvest in equipment that's in higher demand. When I was in the field, we had 3 backhoe loaders that were only used about 20% of the time, while we were constantly scrambling to find mini excavators.
The second solution is streamlined equipment logistics. This is all about making sure the right equipment gets to the right place at the right time.
This is where centralized systems really shine. When everyone, from your rental counter staff to your dispatchers to your drivers, can see the same information in real time, you avoid those costly mix-ups.
The article mentions using availability calendars and alerts. Imagine if every time a piece of equipment is booked or checked out, everyone on your team gets notified automatically.
The third solution is improved maintenance scheduling, which is something I'm passionate about. Nothing derails a construction project faster than equipment breaking down on site.
And emergency repairs are always more expensive than planned maintenance. The article suggests tying maintenance schedules directly into your rental calendar, so you never accidentally book out equipment that's supposed to be in the shop.
They also mention considering seasonality in your maintenance planning. In Texas, for example, you'd want to schedule major maintenance during the slower winter months, not during the spring and fall construction booms.
The fourth solution is investing in equipment rental scheduling software. This is really the backbone that makes all the other solutions possible. It creates a single source of truth for your entire operation.
The article mentions a case study where Superior Construction Services managed over 300 construction projects using rental software and saved approximately $200,000 per year. A big chunk of that came from eliminating scheduling errors.
And finally, the fifth solution is improving communication and collaboration. Even with the best software, you still need humans talking to each other effectively.
I've seen this work well with structured check-ins, like daily morning meetings where teams can confirm what equipment is being used where and cross-check that against the system.
Mike, I know from our previous episodes that you've seen some resistance to new technology in construction. What advice would you give to rental companies looking to implement these solutions?
Start small and focus on the pain points. If double bookings are killing you, implement just that piece first. Get some wins, get your team comfortable with the system, and then expand from there.
And what about ROI? How quickly can companies expect to see returns on their investment in rental software?
In my experience, the payback period is usually 3 to 6 months. When you factor in all the costs we talked about earlier, lost revenue, idle equipment, logistical errors, customer churn, the software typically pays for itself very quickly.
That's impressive. And it seems like the technology has gotten much more user-friendly in recent years.
Absolutely. These systems used to require a computer science degree to operate. Now, they're intuitive, mobile-friendly, and designed for people who spend most of their day in the field, not behind a desk.
As we wrap up today's episode, let's summarize the key takeaways. Scheduling errors in equipment rental aren't just annoying, they're extremely costly, with impacts ranging from lost revenue to damaged customer relationships.
But the good news is that these problems are solvable with the right combination of technology and processes. Track your asset utilization, streamline your logistics, improve your maintenance scheduling, invest in rental software, and enhance communication across your team.
And now for my tech term of the week, fleet utilization optimization. This is the practice of strategically managing your equipment fleet to maximize revenue while minimizing downtime and operational costs.
And for my reality check, remember that implementing new software isn't just about the technology, it's about people. Make sure your team is trained properly and understands how the new system benefits them directly. Otherwise, they'll find workarounds that defeat the purpose.
Next week, we'll be exploring AR applications in construction site management, how augmented reality is helping project managers spot issues before they become problems. You won't want to miss it.
Don't forget to check out our newsletter for additional resources related to today's topic, including a comparison chart of the top equipment rental software options on the market.
Thanks for listening to Tech Toolbox, Construction and Digital Innovation. I'm Alyssa Chen.
And I'm Mike Donovan. Until next time, keep building smarter.